Hi, hope you're okay. This week's photography vlog, I'm in good old the Lake District, and God, did I have a calamity last night. I was about 10 miles away from my intended destination to stay the night. I thought I'll drop in the garage, get some refreshments, something to eat. So got in the garage and came back out, sat in the van, turned the key, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Heart sank. Come on, girl. Had to call the RAC out, and they couldn't do anything. It turns out that it's a bad starter motor. So I've been sleeping at the roadside for 14 hours, waiting for the RAC to come in the morning, and luckily this morning they've sorted me out. Thank God for that. So yeah, I'm in the Lake District, and no surprises, I'm here for the autumn colours, and I like to come a bit early for autumn colours to keep the greens in. I don't like the orangeness of full autumn colour. I like the colours in early autumn. So I've got nothing planned. I'm just walking about and taking whatever takes my fancy. So guys, I've got my first composition. I'll explain where I am. I'm actually a place called Elterwater. I'm just outside the village. Well, I'd say it's an hamlet really. It's a really small place. And I'm about, I'd say I'm about half a mile away from my foreground of the trees that I'm really focusing on this shot. And it's quite compressed because I'm out at 200mm. I'm at f11. Everything should be sharp within the image, so I'm that far away from my actual focus point that everything else should fall into place and be sharp. One of the reasons why I'm taking this composition is that I'm loving the colours in the trees that are in the foreground. There's some dappled light that's hitting the sides of the mountain on the left hand side, and of course the Langdale pikes on the right. They will not get any sunlight at the minute because it's not that time of day, but I'm quite liking the lights that's hitting the left hand side of this mountain. It's bringing some bit of detail into the trees that are on the screes there. The sky's looking quite nice actually, no filters on that, and I'm just going to take this shot because I love it. So I quite like that shot. I was waiting and waiting for more light to hit that left hand side of that mountain, but it never materialised. And because we've got a lot of lowish cloud today, and it's comes and goes and lets light in, and then suddenly you've got really overcast conditions. You could be there all day waiting for the light to hit that mountainside. So I've waited. I'll give it an hour, and I think I've got the best of what light I had. So I'm going to pop back to the van now, and I think I'm going to take a couple of images at a riverside, I think, for a change. I think that's what I'm going to do. Some riverside autumnal shots. So I'll meet you there. So I've come off the path that we're on in the earlier shot, and come down to this absolutely stunning scene. This beautiful bridge and this overhanging tree. It's got the autumn leaves on it. The problem I'm having with it is above the bridge there's some real strong highlights. That light above the bridge is reflecting into this foreground in the water here, the stream, in the river. So I've got a bit of a challenge on my hands here, so I'm trying to control both. So what I've decided to do is put a 0.6 grad on the sky above the bridge, and then I've reversed a graduated filter for the foreground in the water to try and control that. I've also put a polarizer on it to take some of the glare out and to bring out some of the autumn colours in this scene as well. So yeah, it's going to be quite a tough one to control this, but I'm going to put it on the screen, choose what, and then you can judge for yourselves. So yeah, I'm having a shutter speed of about 2 seconds, and I'm about f11. I put the ISO up a bit because it's quite dark here, just to keep the shutter speed at 1.6 to 2 seconds. So let's see how this one turns out. Should be interesting. Back. The plan for today is as I did yesterday really. I've got no sort of set places where I want to go. I'm just doing sort of a free wheel with it all really, and the light's quite flat, but there's glimpses of light coming through every now and again, similar to yesterday's weather. But I'm struggling this morning, so I'm wandering around Loughrigg Tarn near Coniston, and nothing's really inspired me to take a shot yet. So yeah, don't know what to do next. But sometimes when you're in a beautiful place, I sometimes struggle. I really do. But I'm just waiting for something to pop out to inspire me to take a shot. So yeah, I'm going to leave. Come on, Lottie girl. I'm going to leave Loughrigg Tarn for the moment. Come on, girl. Because there's nothing really inspiring me here. So I'm sure I'll find my first composition today somewhere in the beautiful Lake District. But yeah, struggling this morning. After wandering round aimlessly for the last 2 hours, I've got a bit of a lazy shot here, and I spotted it at the side of the road as I was passing by in my van, and it's quite a nice little scene actually. Even though it is lazy, it's beautiful. What I've got here is I've got a lovely sort of Swiss type cottage in the foreground there, and it's surrounded by some lovely autumn colour in its own area, in its own land. And beyond that there's a ridge with autumn trees in it. And then beyond that there's a mountainous backdrop. There's a nice little bit of a layering effect on it. It is very lazy, and I might be pulling at straws here, but I think it's quite nice. It's at f8, and I hope you can hear me with this traffic going by. Yeah, f8, and I've got my ISO up to 200th of a second because it's quite dark. I'm just waiting for some side lights with them mountains, and I'm going to take my shot. So might take a bit of a while. Okay, I've come to a place that came about 5 years ago, and to me this is one of the most beautiful little rivers in the Lake District. It's just up from Sea Toller, and it's just up that real, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's a really steep hill up to Buttermere from Sea Toller, and there's a river that runs down the side of the road, and during this time of year it's absolutely beautiful, this place. And I think, although we're not in full autumn colour, and like I said before, I like the early autumn colour with the green still in it. Because I've come here sort of late October and most of the leaves have come off and they've gone past. So I thought I'd come a bit earlier this year, and they look absolutely stunning. The leaves that are actually floating in the river there are absolutely in full colour. They look stunning, they really do. So there's many compositions down this river. So I'm going to scout a few out, and let's see what I can get. I'm really excited about this, so let's go. Okay, I've found my first composition. What I'm going to do, rather than explain it while I'm in the river here, and it's a bit loud and slippy, I'd rather explain it here and now, and then I'll put some footage through my camera that I'm taking my images with, so you can see what my composition's like. So it's quite precarious in there and slippy and a bit loud with the river here. I haven't got a lapel mount yet. So what I'm doing, I'm getting right in the middle of this little river here, down here. I'm getting right in the middle of that. About a foot in front of me I've got two quite big boulders, and there's sort of some sort of rapids running through both of them, with some leaves on the boulders themselves. And then in my mid-ground I've got some, the river widens out a bit, and then there's some really big boulders in the mid-ground as well, with some lovely green moss hanging on the sides of them. And then up to my top of my image there's an old tree that's dead, that spreads out into the river, and some beautiful autumn colour right in the background there. I think it really works well. To be honest, you couldn't fail at this location. It's absolutely beautiful, it really is. And I've got it all to myself. Wow. Right, so I'm going to take my shot. I'm going to set up actually now, and you'll see the images in a second. So did a couple of compositions there. I did the one that was facing upwards upstream, and turned round and did one facing downstream. I think I prefer the one that's going downstream than the one that's going upstream. I don't think they're excellent images by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, I think they're okay, but not great, not brilliant. I did say you can't fail here, so but yeah, I enjoyed taking them photographs anyway. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just play around this area for a little longer, find one more composition before I head back and to my van and back to where I slept last night. Okay, my last composition of today, and I've come out of the river obviously, and I'm right on the edge of this bank here. See that? Side of this tree, and I wish there was a bit more water in the river here. That's my only complaint about this. But we can't have everything, can we? We're always complaining as photographers, aren't we? I'm loving this bracken in the foreground here. There's a little bit too much of it in the foreground. I might crop this out from the bottom of it, because it takes a bit of the river up. Doesn't balance quite properly for me. I'm loving in the background there. There's some really lovely characterful trees that I really like. The light's just about right for this type of shot, I think. So, I think that's enhancing my colours at the minute. I've got my polarizer on, it's taking the glare off the water. Yeah, I'm not convinced because of this too much in the foreground here, but I think it's okay. I think it's okay. I might come back tomorrow here and see if I can get some better compositions. I don't think I've done it justice today, to be fair. I don't think I've done it justice. So we'll see. You don't know until you get them on the computer screen, do you? So we'll see. So yeah, settings wise, 35mm. It's giving me a shutter speed of about 1.6 seconds. With that polarizer on, because it's dimming the light. I'm at f13, and yeah, let's see how this one turns out. Still not quite sure about it. Right guys, that's it from me today. This video might be a bit long-winded, just to warn you, but I appreciate it if you get through it all. That'd be fantastic. I'm doing as soon as I say, I'm going to do a sunrise tomorrow to Loughrigg Tarn. Can't wait for that. Weather's looking okay. Come on, pup. And yeah, it's been a bit of a strange day today. Really strange. Didn't have any mojo this morning. Sometimes happens, doesn't it? But this afternoon's I've enjoyed this afternoon. But I might pop back here tomorrow, because I don't think I've done it justice today. I really don't. Although it's a little bit sunnier tomorrow, so there might be a lot of contrast in the scene. So we'll see how it goes. I'm planning on I think the dog's stuck. Oh, lots! I'm planning on going on Saturday morning, so I've got a day's worth of photography tomorrow. So anyway, if I don't find anything else this evening, I'll see you in the morning. Good morning, hope you're well. As promised, I'm at Loughrigg Tarn this morning, and I've come to photograph these beautiful reflections in the tarn with Langdale pikes in the far distance there, and hopefully they're going to be reflected in this tarn here. But there's a little bit of wind this morning. It's just taking the reflection off a bit. But fingers crossed when that sun rises later on in about 20-25 minutes that the wind had dropped enough for me to photograph these lovely reflections in this tarn. I've got my 70 to 200mm lens out, and I'm at about 90mm. 90mm at the minute. I'm not using any filters this morning. I'm just going to leave it as is. I might use them a little bit later on, but as it is at the minute, I'm just going to leave it as is. So it's just a case of waiting for that sun to hit the Langdale pikes, and then the wind to drop off and have these reflections in this tarn here. That would be the best. So the sun's rising now. It's just starting to catch the pikes there. There's not a lot of cloud to speak about, unfortunately. But the tarn's cleared off a little bit, so I'm just going to take a couple of shots. Okay, I think I'm quite happy with that shot. It's just a shame about the cloud situation. It's the way it is, isn't it? But I got the benefit of the tarn levelling off, and the reflections are quite nice. So I want to finish off here, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk round the lakeside, drop down towards the base of the lake, and see if I can pick out some compositions down there where the lights, while the light's quite good. So yeah. I'll see you in a couple of ticks. So I've come down to the tarn, down to the base of the tarn, and the reflections have sort of disappeared with the composition that was with the composition I had up at the top there. So it's no good anymore, and I think I got the shot that I wanted to in the conditions that I've got. So what I've done, I've come down to the base of the tarn, and this is the scene that I've got. I'll put it on the screen for you. Basically, what I've got some reeds on my right hand side of my composition, and there's some lovely grasses at the foreground as well. I've got a lovely little tree on the left hand side, and I've even got a couple of swans in my scene as well. They've arrived to give me some help. And in the distance there, I've got the trees with the sun kissing them as well. That's quite a nice touch. So settings wise, about 25mm, ISO about 300, because I want to try and keep these reeds nice and sharp. And there's still a bit of reflection left in this part of the tarn, so that's helping as well. But it's a lovely little tranquil scene, this. I really like this. Really nice. Oh, basically I've got some lily pads as well in this lake as well, so that's adding to the situation. That's the geese just setting off. I don't know if you could hear that. But yeah, I'm going to take this shot and I'll pop it on the screen for you guys. Let me know in the comments below. Tell me what you think. Right guys, I think that's me done for this landscape photography trip, and this beautiful tarn at Loughrigg, absolutely beautiful. Hope you've enjoyed the video again. Please subscribe if you wish, and put a thumbs up, really appreciate it, helps the channel. And hope to see you on the next trip. Who knows where I'll be. who knows. So until next time, see you folks.